What's up, everybody? Just pop my Zin in. These are hard to get right now, so. But anyway, I wanted to talk about being comfortable being alone and why it's important. Maybe you're fresh out of college and you're moving somewhere like a new city or even a new state for a new job, or maybe kind of outgrown your friends and you kind of are looking for a new group, but in the meantime, you're kind of on your own right now. Maybe you don't have anyone you're talking to dating wise yet. So, there's a lot of scenarios on why it's almost inevitable that you'll have to be comfortable being alone and why it's okay and you should embrace it. But this is for with the intention of building your life around it and getting out of being alone. And through that process, you'll understand yourself, get to know yourself, and you'll actually enjoy the times when you're being alone. Because I think I'm like a cutoff Gen Z. Like I'm an older cat, and a lot of these young dudes coming up right now. You guys are really intelligent, and there's like a lot of potential, but there's no space for you to figure yourself out or spend some time alone because you guys. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this, but I had time before where my brain was just not inundated with like TikToks and Instagrams and all these kinds of social media that are making you not spend any time alone with yourself and figure yourself out. When I moved for a new city, because I just got a new job, it was tough. This was about 2.5 years ago. I felt extremely alone, but this is I would crave things like, oh, okay, I want a social circle, but I want it to be with people that I really wanted to be friends with, people that I can respect, some people that are on the same kind of grind and have the same mindset, not just kind of people that were just smoking weed and just being degens all day, which is fine, but I've kind of grown out of it at that point. And I thought to myself, like, I would rather be alone than with that crowd. I'd rather be alone than with a woman that is insufferable or someone that's not going to be someone that I want to date in the long term. And I really spent this time alone. I had a girlfriend that we had been dating like almost when I started the job is when we started dating. So we weren't like super close yet, but it was, I guess, nice to have. And we got to know each other through that process. And I really got to see her be there for me. And we're still together. But at this time, I just felt completely isolated. Aside from that, I didn't know anybody that's in the city that I'm working in. I didn't really make friends with my coworkers yet or anything like that. And, it just really made me think about what I had to value. And that's what I think people in the younger generation and, people maybe similar age need to do right now. Because when you spend time alone with yourself, you'll think about what you care about. So for me, it's like, okay, I want to be working out. I want to be working on music, which is like my primary hobby and something that I hope to take off. And I want to be surrounded by family as much as possible because I have many cousins that I really care about. They have kids. I want to spend more time with my parents. And these are all things that I would think about when I'm alone. And also I valued sobriety. Like when I'm out there by myself, yeah, I could smoke weed every day. I could do whatever I want, but that's not who I wanted to be. So that's why it's important to get to know yourself. And I feel like it's kind of a disservice that, a lot of people these days, it's not even their fault. It's like the social media stuff is designed for you to never have space to think your own thoughts or pursue your own hobbies, pursue any kind of creativity. You don't have to have you don't have to be doing something creative, but I feel like you should have something outside of work that you really care about that you want to pursue, because life's not all just about money. And if it is all about money, then you might need to look in the mirror and reevaluate what's really important. Because for some people, you might be really craving like a family, And how do you start with that is like finding a relationship. So if you're alone and you're gonna feel the hierarchy of needs come to you. You should have a well balanced and well rounded life, but when you're alone, the most important things kind of come to you. So for me, it was okay. I have work, but I really want friends to hang out with. So it took months and months, but eventually I found a group to play volleyball with. And, I'm kind of the type to just kind of see how people are first before I really consider them a friend. And, I would play volleyball with them on Sundays. And, after a couple months, I'm like, wow, these are really great people. And I really want these people to be, my tribe, people that I really want to spend time with as friends. And I also wanted to keep pursuing dating in this relationship that I had with this woman because, at every corner, she was there for me, and she would always show signs of things that I respect, of how she treated me, and, how her outlook on the world and things of that nature. And it also made me realize that, not that I was ever like a party guy. I would go to clubs and here and there with my friends, but I was just thinking like all this money and effort and time to go out and go to all these clubs or, raves or, concerts. Concerts are still good once in a while, but I was thinking like, why don't I just keep doubling down on my own music? Because I barely even have time as it is. I got dogs to take care of. I have friends that I want to hang out with. I have a relationship that I want to, keep growing. And where does my hobby that I want to take seriously, where does that fit in the puzzle? And so I really wanted to focus on that. And if I didn't have time to be by myself, I don't think I would have realized that. So that's one of the most important things, is being by yourself. And a lot of people these days, my age, older or younger, they always want to be around people. Like, they'll hang out on Discord all day with their friends, their online friends. Maybe they've never even met in real life. Or if they're going to go to the gym, they want to be with their friends when they go. They never just do anything for themselves. And I think that's doing yourself a disservice, because you're on Discord all day with people, and if you get in a room with them in real life, maybe you guys don't even have anything in common. It's like, I don't think the word is parasocial, but to have like a fixation on being social 24/7 isn't even like natural. Like, you got to spend time by yourself. You got to be comfortable with yourself. So I think if you're doing that right now, I mean, it's fine to do like maybe play an hour of video games with your friends here and there, but you really want to work on yourself. I mean, especially if you're, anywhere from like 18 to, your mid to late 20s, like, you got to figure out your mission. You got to figure out what gives you a sense of purpose. I think it's paramount to build what your body is telling you in only times that you'll realize when you're alone. Like I said, my hierarchy of needs was like friends, working out because I was getting fat, relationship, doubling down on music and all these things like that. And these things will only come to you when you're alone. So slowly you work on these things. Like, I would hit up my dad to get dinner, or I would hit up my cousins and work out with them, do jujitsu with them, and then get my fitness right while spending time with my family, because that was like a really important one to me. Making new friends that were kind of on the same wavelength, working in relationships, they, enjoy doing sports together and like doing barbecues and, hanging out in that way and doing something productive and healthy rather than, drugs or partying and things like that. And, once in a while is fine, but, it's really not for me. Again, the things that are important to you, you'll know, because you'll be thinking about it all day. And if you're completely isolated and alone and you don't have the social skills to, start getting to go on these things, I think that's a sign as well. And that's probably a topic for a different video. But, if that was me in that case, I would probably try to get some coaching and figure it out, because the longer you delay these things, the harder it's going to get. I know there's a bunch of videos online of people like, oh, you're going to hit your prime when you're 35 and all that stuff. But, social skills are something that are embedded as a young kid. And if you didn't have that, you better work on it as quickly as possible. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video in saying being alone is something that you should embrace. And once you've filled out what's important to you, and you've built your self-esteem, and you build your tribe, and you build what's important to you, you're going to reflect and be like, I did this when I was alone, and I actually enjoy being alone, because this is when I work on myself. This is when I can breathe a little bit. And I think that's really important. And so, I think this message is really important for the younger generation. I'm in my late 20s now, but I wish I embraced it more, because I was kind of like that too. I would want to be surrounded by people no matter what we were doing. It wasn't that bad because I was the only child, but it was getting to a point where I was like, wow, I just need to work on myself. And it's going to be it's going to be an uncomfortable period. For me, it took up to like a year. For people, it may take longer, but you slowly build these things, and it's uncomfortable being alone. But after you don't just, but this is like, it's being alone with a goal of working on yourself. Like, what do I need to make myself feel better? And these things will only come when you're alone. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to, it's a topic that I've been thinking about and just wanted to go over. And if you have any, questions, or if you want advice about how you can go about it, or, what situation you're in, leave something in the comments, man. I'm trying to, help people, build a community and whatnot. So yeah,